Encounter, which you ran since 1981.
In 1934, I happened to be in Lisbon that day. It's wonderful. I have a conversation with you. We are very lucky to have Paige Fortner, the Harold Brown Professor of U.S. Foreign and Security Policy and the Director of the Saltzman Institute, who has written extensively on peacekeeping. She knows more than anybody else when peacekeeping fails. She also knows when it succeeds, so she's the right person to talk to you. She has written also on how you build peace, how you end wars, and so Timor-Leste is really a brilliant case study for her, and so I look forward to your conversation. Over to you.
Can you hear? We were allowed to start publicly to talk about independence. Of course, at the time, we didn't have any university there. Only a Timorese went to university in Portugal. Only a secondary school in Timor. That's why, thinking about independence, we said, oh, we have independence. Well, there were many choices because we could not think about a state, no. No. Following the dream of our ancestors, independence. And others say, what? Independence? And others, what? Do you have money? And few political associations were created, but not revealing like any concrete plan. And because of the Cold War, the world divided into blocks. In Africa, especially in Africa, many movements went to ask help from Soviet Union. That is why all the liberation movements were all like Marxist, because it was a condition to receive support, training, weapons, etc., etc. And few Timorese were in Portugal, and because of this dream to be independent, they also chose this way. And a movement, a Marxist, a Leninist, a Maoist movement was established. They went to Timor-Leste with the thought that we must be independent right now. Of course, it coincided with the war in Vietnam, where USA lost in that war to impede the socialism or Marxism or Maoism to start coming down to the Southeast Asia. It was, I have to say, in my humble analysis, it was our mistake having also, because ASEAN was formed by 5 members only, not as an economic or diplomatic, organization, but more to impede the Marxism coming, Maoism coming. And we appeared as a big defensor of socialism. And I have to say, when we say that it was an error, a mistake there or from there, we have to recognize also our own mistake. And our own mistake was our people, the people in general, the dream was to be independent. Because, as I said, many rebellions during the Portuguese colonialism. The last one was in 1912, a big one. That's why it was easy to go around and say independence, independence, independence. And people, we are, at that time, I can say less than 30% literate. All the people, all the population were illiterate. And the Marxist movement or party won in terms that won more because people could absorb not the Marxism but the independence idea. And we came to a war, civil war. The civil war facilitated the thinking of the neighbors that we were not, prepared to be independent. And looking at the troops, the Indonesian troops started to go in, and we could not stop them. That was why we decided to proclaim unilaterally our independence on 28th of November, 75. 9 days later, we were invaded. Well, the problem was, if we talk about international law, we would say that being with this ideology or other ideology, we should, because from 1960s we were considered one of non-autonomous territory that could be contemplated by the self-determination right, no? The right for self-determination. Well, we were invaded. All the people went to the mountain, but with the help of many Western countries, Indonesia could defeat us in three years, and in 78, I could say, we lost the war. From in the beginning, we had from the Portuguese time more than 30,000 weapons, but in 79, when we were defeated with big operations made by the enemy, with fighters used in Vietnam, and many of our people were killed with napalm, with weapons provided by UK, by German, by USA. We were defeated, and in 80, when we tried to reorganize ourselves, we had only less than 500 weapons without munitions, and 700 guerrilla fighters. The others, because they felt that we could not resist anymore, they surrendered. And the problem was, I have to say, I took the lead with few guerrillas going around, many guerrillas with the families under the enemy, the control of the enemy. They felt like not so feared to fight. We went and we meet the people under the enemy, and they told us, go back, fight and die there, because we are here because we are not able to but never forget we have to be independent. It gave like a spirit of fight to the small number of guerrillas that was with me. And in our during the first 3 years, it was not only the enemy, Indonesian military killed many people, more than 1/3 of population died with bombs, with famine, with massacres, but we also had a problem fighting each other because of the ideologies, and that is why the violence not only was committed by Indonesians to our people, but amongst ourselves also. And analyzing all of this, analyzing the causes of our defeat in '78, we thought that we have to start reconcile our mentality, our choice, and that is why the difference, the ideological difference we put aside. No more enemies amongst us. And it reinforced the capability of our people to resist, because what commanded us was the willing to be independent. Whatever you want to be Marxist, you want to be only independent, no ideology could divide us. And it was one of the main things that united us. Until '83. In '83, because we were improving our capability fighting the enemy and capturing weapons and ammunition, the enemy saw that they felt that they will not defeat us because we were helped by our population in food, in information, in the enemy tried to persuade us to surrender, and we got ceasefire. We talk. While they said, if you surrender, you all will be generals, other colonels. We said no. We want to fight. We want independence, and we proposed a peace plan. The peace plan was under the international law. We were a territory under the administration of Portugal. And Portugal, we can say Portugal was the administering power. Indonesia occupying power. And we said, better to ask the people, if they want integration, we will surrender. But if they want independence, you must go. And we sent to the government, Indonesian government. 6 months, the ceasefire only took 6 months. After that, we fought again. In 91 or 89 maybe, we heard about Western Sahara having was contemplated by UN resolution to have how to say referendum, and it was yes, very good. After Western Sahara will be us, and but in '92 it was postponed because of the violence. We said, okay. In '99, Kofi Annan, for us, a big hero for us, because he committed himself to solve our problem, Kofi Annan. And in his leadership, we could get the UN Security Council to approve the referendum in Timor-Leste, taking advantage also of the financial crisis, monetary crisis in Asia, with Suharto.
Lost power.
Yes. And Habibi also is very important in our history, because he could impose to the military, no, we accept the referendum to stop the war. If people choose integration, it is okay. But if not, we have to accept, and Habibi is a leader that we consider as a big friend also, and very influential in our history. And in cases like this, we need other Habibis in other places. Well, as you mentioned, we celebrated the 25th anniversary last month. Now, after 22, I have to say, in June, it was on 5th of May 1990, 1989, the Security Council said referendum in Timor-Leste, and a mission was created called UNAMED. They went there to organize the referendum. But the militias, Timorese, when we say militias, they are Timorese, paid by the Indonesians to create violence and to kill people, etc., etc. They started the violence, killing people. And in June, Jan Martin, the special representative of Secretary General in that mission, went to see me. I was in jail. Went to see me and said, Xanana, sorry, I came to inform you that we have to delay the referendum. I said, no. No. It is a principle of UN. Oh, principle of UN. Good. But why? Why? Because when in process like this there is violence that we cannot stop, we have to postpone. I said, no, we don't accept. You have to accept. You have to. I said, no. No, because during 24 years, you did nothing. Yes, but now we are there to organize the referendum, and there are people being killed there. How many? More than 1,000. This little. Said, what? Little? 1,000? Yes. During 24 years, more than 200,000 died. And where was UN? Where? 200, more than 200,000. Now 1,000. It can be 10,000 now, but we will not stop. But it is no. He insisted, and I said, in 92, you postponed the Western Sahara referendum. Now you want to postpone our referendum? We have to wait for the referendum after Western Sahara referendum again? No. Tell Secretary General, we not accept. We don't accept. Well, looking at me like, man, we don't accept. And he told Kofi Annan, and Kofi Annan accepted, and we did. Now, Western Sahara, I believe they need somebody like me doing this. No! Sorry.
Strong tip.
32 years waiting for referendum. Western Sahara. That is why, well, after the referendum, now we are independent. Dear students, we came through a war, we got peace. Sometimes, when we talk about peace, we think that it is not, when it is not war, it is peace. Not at all. Not at all, because peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the absence of contradictions in a society. There are so many. During the war, we heard that it was 4 or 5 conflicts. After the war, after 24 years of struggle, after winning now more than 30 conflicts around the world. Conflict sometimes between people in one country, but sometimes is provoked by Western countries. Since there are resources, they give weapons to a group, weapons to another tribe, they fight while the companies just say during the war Australia was the only Western nation to recognize the integration, recognize the annexation. Why? Because of the oil. And signed with Indonesia in 98 a boundary in our sea. It belongs to you, it belongs to me. What we produce you, 50% to you, 50% to me. But it is Timorese. It belongs to Timor-Leste. That's why there are many conflicts around the world provoked internally because of the differences or because of power. I am president and I I lost the elections and I said no. Again, I want to be president for life, political, and others imposed by, like Central African Republic. We had the peacekeeping force there for 3 years only. But you want to know my secret? Because this lady said, oh, he. But behind he, I also learned. In 2000, Sergio de Mello was the special representative of Secretary General during the transition to independence. He said, we go to New York. And I came here for the first time. Wow. A day when Kofi Annan was speaking to us, I was like, the first time that I came here. And during the UNGA, after the President of the United States, after he talks there, it is a ceremony, we all in queue to take photo with the President of the United States. I was there. Somebody in front of me looked at me. Suddenly he came, are you Xanana? Unfortunately, I am. Oh, I know. You are going to be independent next in 2 years coming. Yes. Please listen to me. Said Ian, don't allow peacekeeping force for too long in your country. Please go, think, do something, because when they go there, they only receive money. And they don't care if you are ready or not ready. I said, but no. We had these lessons. It was the Prime Minister of Cambodia. I said, thank you. Back home, by the advice of the Cambodian Prime Minister, I was trying to look around, study. Oh yes, he was right. That is why we established an assembly. The first money that I could receive, and I was, whoa, thank you very much, $100 for having, in 2001 and 2000, for having an assembly to look at the resolutions that UNTAED was doing that didn't, we said, what to do what? It is just to say that because there is no interest from the other side in Central African Republic, almost 3 decades with peacekeeping force there. Keeping what? Nothing. Stay there. Keeping peace, but there is no peace, it is conflict. We were there 2 or 3 times. Twice. The first time we talked, they considered, and I said, be careful because Central African Republic is rich in diamond, gold, and oil and gas, etc. Uranium. I said, be careful because it is a big country. The groups that are fighting each other from different tribes, they receive weapons from outside, and they fight just to impede the government to control their resources. They didn't trust. I gave some example to them, and they said, oh yes, but the best proof was that it was in Portugal, the mafia of how to say, sending out diamond, gold, illicit. And this is the problem of peace also. The second time that I went there, few groups surrendered their weapons. But because it is big, we, a very small country, we are more than 30 ethnic. What to say about Central African Republic? That's why peace, not only internally, people must understand each other, must reconcile. We did this. We reconciled, we had a process of reconciliation with Indonesia because we saw that it was not Indonesian people, and because Indonesia started the democratic process, we said not this Indonesia, the other system. That's why what for if we keep, and we establish a mission. Both parties. We have a data of all the massacres, all of the violations of human rights in Timor. They accept it and we sign. Because we don't just say, okay, forget this. No. We wrote everything, they accepted, and we signed it, and we said, it is the past. What we are committed to is, in the future, doesn't happen again. It is with our neighbor. Because the Indonesian people, they are not the actors of the violence. The new government, democratic government, not. That is why we defined it, the enemy, and we said, okay, finish, no more. It cannot happen again between the two countries. But reconciliation means also, and more difficult, is inside. And inside, amongst Timorese, we have also cultural, traditional way to reconcile. Like, I killed her husband, all their family. In the reconciliation process, we talk to each other, we, like, I would say, confess, sorry, I killed your husband, I killed all your family, pardon me, forgive me. It is a traditional way to reconcile. And we got this, but after getting the independence, because it was 24 years suffering, sometimes after so long time, we say, people used to, now, independence, they feel or they think that things will appear immediately. It will be a miracle to change the life, to have everything. And that was why from 2003 to 2008, we had also problems. We killed each other, we burned houses, we burned things. Internally, we had to talk to each other again, to teach, sorry, don't think like this, don't fight your colleague, talk to each other. And it took years, few years, 3-4 years, but we reconciled again. And from this, we had a team. Goodbye conflict, welcome development. And from there, from 2009 till now, we are living, we can say, in peace, with respect, the rule of law, and all of this. That is why peace is very important. But if we could do this in Timor-Leste, just imagine the characteristic of each country, the approach that the United Nations used to make, they don't consider the characteristic of each country. They go and say, because in this country, big country, but there are characteristics, culturally, etc., thinking, way of thinking. In the other country, yeah, a big one, but not so, but different. The approach, that is why the United Nations and other organizations must look at each country, the characteristic of each country, understand, because usually they go and say, do this, human rights, etc. People say, what is that? We have to talk with them, and people feel that, understand, and being the actor of the peace process, of the reconciliation process. Now, in today's world, so many conflicts that needs that you, young people, must to the future, because the world, the future is in your hand, or in your head, but essentially in your mind. That's why peace is something very important, very essential to the life in every nation, every society.
Thank you.
Yes. Obrigado.